Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Please make yourselves at home as you enter our webinar space. We're going to wait just a few seconds for everyone to get settled in and to make yourselves at home, although you all may literally be at home, but we are so excited that you are joining us. And again, we're just going to wait a few minutes for everyone to settle into our space. I think we had actually close to 100 admitted students registered, so it's good to see all of our panelists know now that our students are really excited about student advising and academic life at Emory, which is a really important part of your experience at Emory. Probably the majority of it, but not all of it. So please come on in. Welcome. Please find some space here for yourselves and get settled in. I hope all of you are feeling the same energy and excitement as we are at Emory, as we celebrate all of you as newly admitted students to Emory. I understand that some of you are ED1 and ED2 admits, but the largest number of students who we admit to Emory is through our regular decision plan. So I know there's a lot of you joining today. My name is Maddie Monahan, and I'm a member of the Emory undergraduate admission staff. And on behalf of myself and the entire Emory admissions team, I'd like to extend our sincerest congratulations on your acceptance to Emory. Whether you were accepted to Emory College, Oxford College, or both colleges, we look forward to you joining the Emory community. As first-year students, you should be very proud of yourselves, and I know your parents and supporters are as well. Thank you for joining our Academic Advising and Success at Emory panel today. We have an extraordinary team of knowledgeable, approachable, kind, and caring panelists today who are eager to provide important information about academic advising at Emory and all the resources available to you to ensure your academic success. Before we get started, just want to share a few housekeeping tips. This session is being recorded, and you will be able to access it on the Emory Admission YouTube channel within the next 48 hours. And by the way, on that channel, there are over 15 different recordings for admitted students on topics ranging from housing, internships, and spiritual and religious life. So check those out at your convenience. If for some reason we experience technical difficulties, please be patient as we try to resolve those. As we all know, the virtual world is not perfect. Please post all of your questions using the Q&A tab. Our panelists will be presenting information first, and then we will pose the questions live at the end of the presentation. And so again, congratulations on your acceptance. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hand the baton over to Kimber to begin our presentation. Thanks, Kimber.
Thank you so much, Maddie, for that warm welcome. We are so excited to have you here today to discuss a variety of things with you. I've got a small agenda here listed for you as we dive into all of the information that we hope to present to you to help you consider if Emory is a right fit for you and understand what a degree from Emory looks like, and having some knowledge about the resources available to you, and focusing on who you are and what interests you and why Emory might be a good place for you to discover that. My name is Kimber Clark, and I'm an Associate Director of Academic Advising in the Office for Undergraduate Education in Emory College of Arts and Sciences. And I'm also joined today with my colleague.
Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca Rigo. I am also an Associate Director of Academic Advising in the Office for Undergraduate Education. And so Kimber and I spend our days very happily advising Emory College students. So happy to be with you today.
All right, so first we like to just wonder what it is and how will you explore and develop at Emory. And so that's what we hope to help you learn a little bit more about today, is what can we do to support you and how you might achieve what you want, even if you don't really know what that is yet. And we don't expect you to know what that is yet. So hopefully the information today will give you a nice beginning into what it might be like here for you at Emory.
So we thought it might be helpful to talk a little bit about what the academic experience at Emory looks like. Regardless of what school you start at Emory or what school you end up in at Emory, we really are helping you to build some transferable skills such as thinking critically, problem solving, effective communication, and regardless of what your major is or what degree type you're seeking at Emory, these are all really essential skills that are going to help you in your academic experience and also prepare you for your future beyond Emory. We also want to really focus on exposing you to new disciplines. So Emory College and all of the other undergraduate institutions at Emory are very different than your experience as a high school student. You will have the chance to study all kinds of new subjects that go very in depth. And so we want you to have exposure to a breadth of different subjects and be able to go more deeply into subjects that you want to specialize in. And finally, Emory is a small institution within a larger research institution. And so we really have the opportunity for our students to be able to build relationships with faculty, and we will help you to figure out how to do that so that you can learn more about different academic interests and how to apply those interests beyond your time at Emory.
Thank you for that broad overview, Rebecca. So I'd like to dive into some of the little bit of the nitty-gritty of what your arts and sciences degree might look like. And so when you start at Emory College of Arts and Sciences, you're going to be working towards 126 credit hours. And that may seem very daunting to you. 1 credit hour can equate to approximately 1 hour of class per week and 2 hours of outside class per week. So when you think of 126 credit hours over 4 years, you can kind of break that down into smaller bits. So what are these 126 credit hours going to look like? Well, 43 of them will be your general education requirements, otherwise known as GERs. And all students will complete general education requirements. And we'll go into a little bit more detail of that in just a moment. 36 to 66 of these hours will be your major requirements. So you will be required to complete 1 major in order to graduate from Emory College of Arts and Sciences. So that leaves some more room in your schedule. So 17 to perhaps 60 credits, depending on how many credits your particular major is, leaves room for electives. And so these electives may include an additional focus area, so perhaps a minor or a second major, although not required. Again, you're only required to complete 1 major at Emory, or other prerequisite courses that you're not taking elsewhere. We'd really like to stress, though, that you have the opportunity to explore and investigate and take classes that maybe you otherwise would not consider taking based on what you plan to major in. Those 126 hours are not going to be comprised with just those general education requirements and those major requirements. So really, Emory will give you the opportunity to explore and take many more courses than just what you would be required to do.
So as Kimber mentioned, if you are in Emory College of Arts and Sciences, about 1/3 of your degree is going to be spent working on general education requirements. A lot of other institutions call these core requirements. These are courses that students will take in particular subject areas, and there's a lot of variation as far as what you might do within these subject areas. This slide here kind of outlines when students need to complete each of the different requirements for the general education requirements. And so there are some that should be done by the end of each of your years at Emory. And a lot of these you will naturally be fulfilling as you're taking classes for your major or prerequisites for certain specialized tracks. And so many of our students are going to be fulfilling those as they're going along with their curriculum. Kimber will talk a little bit more about the first year requirements, but we just want you to have a visual and understanding of what you will be doing during your time at Emory. And as I mentioned earlier, the goal of these general education requirements are really to get that depth of classes and exposure to different fields that we want you to have as a liberal arts student. And so this is one way of achieving that depth.
Great. So those first year requirements are going to be ones that you're thinking about as you decide whether or not you are going to come to Emory, since it will be the things you need to take during your first year. So we have several Success at Emory requirements, including ECS 101 and Health 100. ECS 101 is our Emory College seminar. All first-year students will take this during their fall semester and have the opportunity to be exposed to what is a liberal arts education and how does that align with your pathway over the 4 years that you will be at Emory. Health 100 is also a requirement for the fall semester. Again, 1 credit like ECS 101. Health 100 is the opportunity for you to engage with instructors on ways to be a healthy, good academic student at Emory. Additionally, we have our first year communication requirement, our first year seminar requirement, and our PE requirement. And these classes, you can decide whether or not you'd like to take them in the fall or the spring. The first year communication requirement is going to be similar to what you might hear called an English course or a first year writing course. The first year seminar class is going to be a small seminar style class in which you take a deep dive into a particular subject or disciplinary with a faculty member and up to 19 classmates and really have the opportunity to explore a particular discipline or topic area class. And then we have a variety of PE courses that will align with your Health 100 class, enabling you to maybe work on yoga or running or stress management or cardio. So lots of opportunities for you to explore yourself in that PE class as well.
Right, so let's talk a little bit about the majors and minors available to you in Emory College. Emory College offers over 80 different majors and 60 different minors. So there are a lot of opportunities for you to study a variety of different subjects. And the majors range from 34 to 64 credits. So depending on the degree type, if you're doing a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science and what you are choosing to major in, will determine how many credits your major is. As Kimber said, students only need to complete 1 major to graduate from Emory College. You do have the option, if you have other areas that you want to study more deeply, to do a major or a minor. And our minors range from 16 to 36 credits, regardless of whether you do 1 major or 2 majors or a major and a minor. All Emory College students will graduate with the same number of credits. So it's really just a question of how you want to spend your time at Emory. If you want to have a variety of different subject areas as part of your curriculum, or if you prefer to focus more on 1 or 2 areas. So it's really your choice, and there's a lot of variation depending on your own interests and passions.
All right, so let's take a pause here for a minute and do a little fun activity where we can see where particular majors at Emory graduates and what kind of career pathway they took. So, for instance, someone who majored at Emory is now a business analyst at McKinsey & Company. We have a graduate from neuroscience and behavioral biology that's a playwriting fellow. We have a psychology major that is a business analyst at Amazon, a philosophy major who is now a media associate, and a biology major that is now a project manager. So you can see how these majors contribute to a variety of career pathways for you.
Okay, so your schedule at Emory. Well, let me preface this by saying that if you decide to come to Emory, we do a lot of advising over the summer. So this is just a snapshot of what it would look like for you if you were coming to Emory in the fall. We encourage all of our students to take around 15 to 17 credit hours every semester. For most students, that's going to be around 4 to 5 classes. And we've talked about this a little bit already. It's really important to balance what you're interested in studying at Emory along with some exploration classes. So Kimber and I tell all of our students, even if you know exactly what you want to study at Emory, we want you to take a fun class every semester, whether it counts towards your major or your minor or a track that you're following. It's just really important that you take advantage of this undergraduate experience and all of the variety of classes that Emory offers. And there are a lot of really cool classes taught by very renowned faculty. And so we want you to take advantage of that and really kind of balance those courses with classes that you might be taking to fulfill requirements. And then we recognize that academics are, of course, a huge part of the undergraduate experience, but they're not the only part. And so we do not want our students to overwhelm themselves with classes. We want you to be able to enjoy getting involved outside of classes on campus or off campus and really pursuing those other interests that are going to complement your academics and hopefully help you build skills and network beyond your time in the classroom. So I'm sure Ed is going to talk about that a lot more when he gets to his section, but it really is a balance of your interests, your passions, and we want to make sure that you have space to do all of the things that are going to help you be a better person when you are done.
So we've been giving you a lot of information, and we want to make sure that you also know, how are we going to support you once you're here? How are we going to help support you to explore your intellectual interests and help you develop personally? And so we want to introduce you to some of that as well.
So one major resource, Kimber and I are kind of plugging our own services here, is your OUE academic advisor, which is our role in the college. And we tend to be the first stop for students when they have questions. Even if it's not an academic question, we really strive to build relationships with our students so that they will come in and we can refer them to the right person if it's not us. And so we hope that you will come in and meet with us regularly, that we will get to know you, know your interests, and be able to help you along your memory and meeting your goals. And then, of course, we will talk to you about requirements and make sure that you're doing all of the things that you need to be able to graduate from Emory on time and pursue those next opportunities for graduation.
And so your OUE academic advisor, which could be me or Rebecca, is just one of the many networks of support in terms of advising that you would receive at Emory. In addition to your OUE advisor, once you declare a major and or a minor, you'll receive a person who is specific to that discipline. So any questions or guidance that you may need regarding your specific major, you have someone that you can go to that is designated just for you. We also have those specialized advisors. So perhaps you're interested in pre-health or pre-business. So folks will be there to answer your questions and guide you as well. And then those event and interest specific advisors. So these, think like a education abroad, if you'd like to study abroad, or someone in our career and professional development office. So we like to think of your advising opportunities at Emory as a network of support to guide you through those 4 years.
So as Kimber mentioned, specialized advising is available for students who are interested in certain pathways. So if you're thinking about pre-business, or if you think you want to pursue a pre-health path, then there are certain advisors who can help you with that, as well as pre-engineering and pre-law. So regardless of your interest at Emory, there are lots of ways that you are supported by a variety of different advisors.
And to round out that supportive advising and mentorship, again, those faculty advisors within your departments, study abroad advisors, career coaches. We have an office devoted to national scholarships and fellowships. So if that is something that is of interest to you, there will be folks in there that can guide you through that process as well. And then, of course, student leaders. We all know that we rely on our peers for a lot of things. And so there are a variety of student leaders, peer mentors, orientation leaders, folks that live in the residence halls that can also be a great resource for you as an Emory student. So now,
Hello. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Hello, I am here to tell you all about the resources in the Academic Success Center in the Emory College of Arts and Sciences. My name is Jolena Palm, and I am one of the assistant directors in the office. And we have numerous resources for students. And so I'm going to take a few moments to talk about some of those resources. We are a team of 4, but we support thousands of students through our resources. And here are some of our signature resources. We have our workshops and digital resources. And so the workshops consist of small groups and large group sessions. And these are in person as well as virtual workshops. And we talk about subjects such as time management, organization, how to approach your professor. And then we also have specific workshops based on student interest. So students can provide their requests for workshops, and we can develop workshops for students. We have numerous digital resources. So we have our newsletter. We also have a time management calendar. We have academic tips. And the great thing about these resources is that you can download these resources, you can save them, and you can review them at a time that's convenient for you. We also offer various group resources for students. And so these are small and large groups. And so our workshops are one of our groups that we offer for students, but we also have our study groups. And so this is a new initiative this year that we established. And so we match students with study buddies on campus. So students, if they are seeking a study buddy for a course, you can submit a request for a study buddy, and we will create a study group for you, and we will provide a space for you to study with other students in your courses. And we have accountability groups. And so these accountability groups are facilitated by staff members as well as upperclassmen that have been highly trained to support students. And we work with students throughout the semester to help them to accomplish their goals that they have set for the semester. And so essentially, this is academic coaching. And so academic coaching, these are sessions where we work specifically with the needs of the students. And so they can be group sessions, as I mentioned, or they can be one-on-one sessions where we work one-on-one with the student to develop an academic game plan for success. And then we'll work with you throughout the semester just to ensure that you're on target and you're fulfilling the goals that you have for the semester. We also offer peer tutoring. And so I oversee the peer tutoring program in the College of Arts and Sciences. And we have a variety of courses that we support through tutoring. And so a lot of our courses are STEM courses, and there are 100 and 200 level courses that students take in order to get into their major courses. So we have a lot of STEM classes, and we also have language classes, language courses that we provide tutoring for, as well as some social science classes. And the great thing about peer tutoring, it's completely peer-led. We offer tutoring in person as well as virtual, and it's appointment-based, and we will be offering new in the fall drop-in tutoring. So we'll have some set hours for students to come in and to meet with a tutor throughout the week. And our next program is Learning Assistance. And this is, I believe, one of our largest programs that we offer, and it is completely student-led. And with the Learning Assistance program, our students facilitate large group study sessions or review sessions. And these sessions are extremely helpful for students as they prepare for final exams or any type of quiz or exam or assignments in the course, or if students just want clarity. The learning assistants are selected by the faculty, and they work very, very closely with the faculty to ensure that they're providing information that will help students And the great thing about working with a learning assistant is that you can get the student perspective from the information provided by the professor. And then also the Writing Center. While the Writing Center is not within our office, the Writing Center is one of our great partners on campus. And the Writing Center is open for all students. They support students with various genres of writing. They can help you when it comes to your writing structure. They can support you if you have an essay, if you have a research paper, if you would like support with brainstorming. They have a variety of resources to help all students. In the Writing Center, the appointments are in person, and students, they have access to this resource, and it's a free resource. Again, it's for all students. It's for not just first year, but second year, all the way up into actually our graduate students. So the Writing Center is a great resource for any student to take advantage of. And so these are some of our signature resources that we provide for students. And in the fall, the Academic Success Center will be located in the ground level of the library. And so next, we're going to turn it over to my colleagues in the School of Business.
Hi, everyone. I'm Libby Agnor. I'm the Associate Dean for the BBA program at the Goizueta Business School. BBA stands for Bachelor of Business Administration. So students who are pursuing a business degree undergraduate will come to the business school for their education. So one of the things that we are most proud of at Goizueta is how we think about your education holistically. So we think it's really important for students to be focused, of course, on academics. This is a university, that's what you're coming here for. But we also want to make sure you're developing personally and professionally. And so we do a lot of things in service to that. I think if you come to Atlanta, it's a great business community. And if you're interested in business and you want to study at Goizueta, you have a lot of opportunities to learn about what's going on in a really dynamic city. Areas of study, you can see the list here. Standard functional areas of business, of course, accounting, finance, marketing, strategy and organization management, information systems, but then also students can pursue other areas: real estate, business and society, entrepreneurship, analytics. Some of those might mean something to you. Some of those might mean nothing to you. I can tell you a little bit about a few of them. Business and society is what are the things that businesses can do to help contribute to society? What are the responsibilities business has to society as a whole? Analytics has to do with every time you click on a website, every time you, kind of log your data somewhere, that somebody's collecting that information and how to analyze it and figure out what are the opportunities, for a business to maybe market to you, or maybe to understand, from an analytics standpoint, what's really helping drive business to our site. So things like that are things that people are really studying in depth. Consulting is an area that students who want to have lots of exposure to lots of different kinds of businesses might go into. And then, of course, real estate, international business. These are things probably pretty familiar to you. But you don't have to know today. You don't have to know what you want to do. You don't have to know this is what I want to study. You have to know a couple of things. And that is, you can come into the business school at one of three times. You can come in the fall of your sophomore year, you can come in the spring of your sophomore year, or you can come into the business school in the fall of your junior year. So 3 entry points. And the thing you have to do before you come into the business school are these requirements on the screen right now. Okay. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, we are thinking about coming into the business school fall of sophomore year. You've already identified, I think I want to do something in business. This is what I'm excited about. This is the area I want to study. So econ is one of the first things you should be thinking about. You are going to either do a sequence of Econ 101, Econ 112, which is microeconomics, macroeconomics, or you can just take one class and take business economics and get it done in one fell swoop. There are some ways that you can get that outside of just taking the classes at Emory. If you have, the 5 on the econ AP, if you are doing higher level economics for an international baccalaureate, that is also something, 6 or 7 on that will get you out of this econ requirement. And then finally, if you did dual enrollment at another school and you are transferring those credits to Emory, that's another way. But assuming that you need the econ, we'll get that done maybe fall semester. There's also a statistics competency requirement. Now, that doesn't mean you have to take a class in stats. That means you have to either have had a class in stats in high school, or you take a class in stats at Emory, or you just do this self-directed online boot camp that we offer. And for those of you that are here now, I'm going to just tell you, if the business school is something you think you want to do, you can do this boot camp over the summer. So you can, the summer before you get to Emory, do this online boot camp. It'll take you, I think it takes about 10 hours total to complete for most students. And it's just to get you to that level of stats competency so that then you're ready to take our Business 350 class, which is a data analytics class. So as long as you have that stats in your background, you can take that Business 350. It says here spring, but you could take it in the fall if you had the stats out of the way. And then of course there's an Excel, online directed Excel course. I know you're thinking Google Sheets does everything I needed to do. Most businesses want you to have some Excel, and all of our business classes want you to have some Excel. So we're going to just ask you to do that 1 credit online Excel class as well before you matriculate to the business school. So, I mean, I think that the thing about Goizueta and the business school at Emory is that you can do so many things through the business school, but you can also still do so many things at Emory College. So 30% of our students have a major in Emory College, you know, even more have a minor in Emory College. And if business is something you're interested in, but you're not all the way sure, you don't have to decide the minute you get to Emory. Take your time, look around, find out what there is out there. And if business sounds like an interesting proposition, please come see us and think about these prerequisites. Next steps this summer, please attend one of our specialized advising sessions on business if you think this is where you'd like to land, because we do really want to help you plan and think about what you should be doing in your first year. And then, of course, you can visit our pre-BBA website. It's down at the bottom of the screen, and just, again, get the lay of the land. It's definitely the case that doors are open to you if business is a route you want to go on. So please, by all means, come see us this summer with our advising sessions. And I think that is my last slide. And I'm going to hand it over to my colleagues at the School of Nursing.
Libby. So I'm going to quickly do an overview of how you might pursue nursing at Emory University if you are interested in healthcare. So I'm Celeste Whitman. I'm the Director of Admission, Financial Aid, and Student Services, specifically for pre-licensure programs at the School of Nursing. That may not mean a lot to you right now, and that's okay. But we have a lot of programs at the School of Nursing to prepare students for a lot of different careers in the field of nursing. So most students who come to Emory College or to Oxford College as first-year students are going to be pursuing our Bachelor of Science in Nursing. So this is a program that is going to provide you with both classroom experiences, but also all of the clinical hours that you need to sit for the NCLEX, which is the National Nursing Board Certification exam to become a licensed RN. It is a 2-year program, so you would start your first 2 years at either the Atlanta campus or the Oxford campus, and then you would come during the fall of your junior year to the School of Nursing to finish out your last 2 years, specifically in the BSN curriculum. One thing I really love, especially about the clinical experiences, obviously, if you're wanting to do healthcare and you want to become a nurse, one of the things you're probably excited about, if that's on your mind right now, is clinical experiences and actually working with patients and being in a healthcare setting. And so with our program, you will get experiences across the Metro Atlanta in really top tier clinical sites. So as you can imagine, we do, of course, place students at Emory healthcare facilities around Atlanta, but we also have partnerships with a lot of other well-known healthcare facilities around the area. So the Children's Hospital of Atlanta is a common one that students will have clinicals in. Northside Hospital, which is a really big birthing hospital, is a common one students will be in. We also have a lot of other healthcare facilities around Atlanta. That is a really big plus, I think, of Emory University is if you are interested in healthcare, you will have access to a lot of healthcare sites. As I mentioned before, it is a 4-semester program. It is a full-time program. So that just means typically it's going to be your junior and your senior year at Emory. And then our graduates can work in a lot of different areas and a lot of different types of healthcare systems, whether that's staying in Atlanta, going somewhere else in Georgia, going across the country, and you can work in a lot of different sites as an RN. And just quickly kind of how to prepare. Just like Libby said with the business school, you do not need to know necessarily right now that you want to become a nurse, but there are some good ways to start preparing if this program might be something that's on your mind. So we do recommend that you meet with your pre-health advisor and your academic advisors. Let them know you're interested in pursuing the School of Nursing possibly, so that they can make sure that you have the right academic information to really set up a good plan to prepare. You will need to take prerequisite courses during your first 2 years. I'm not going to list all of them out. You'll get a lot more information about this if you are pursuing nursing when you start at Emory, but there are prerequisite courses you are going to have to take for the BSN program, and most of them do cross over and fulfill your general education requirement categories as well, so you don't have to feel like you're doubling up. You will also want to make sure that you maintain a 3.0 GPA as you are going through your first 2 years. This is really important for the next slide about guaranteed admission. So how do you apply to the BSN program? So you do have to apply even as an Emory University student, because about half of our students are coming from Emory and half of the students are going to be transferring from another college or university. And so students will apply during the second year that they're at Emory. So that'll be your sophomore year, to start during the fall, as I mentioned, during your junior year. We only have one start point that you can start at the School of Nursing, and that's after you complete 60 credit hours, which is typically going to be after you complete 2 years of coursework, undergraduate coursework. So even though you are applying, there is a guaranteed admission process. For this, students who are coming from Emory University need to have a cumulative GPA of a 3.0 or above. So if you see your GPA on your Emory transcript, you should already know, kind of as you're going into this application process, what that admission decision is going to be. We do also require that students complete all of the prerequisites for the BSN program with C's or higher. You do have to get grades in all of your courses at Emory. And then, as I mentioned before, you do have to complete 60 credit hours, which is going to be comprised of some electives, some general education requirements, and those prerequisites. And we'll dive much more into this if you do decide that Emory is the place you want to be for the fall, during some pre-orientation sessions this summer, and also kind of throughout your first 2 years at Emory. I'm going to pass it over to Ed.
Thank you very much, Celeste. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ed Good, and I'm Director of Experiential Learning, and I'm here representing the Pathways Center. The Pathways Center provides resources and experiences to Emory students and even Emory alumni to help them reach their full potential. We bring together 5 different units. There's career and professional development, which I'll return to in a moment, undergraduate research programs, and that not only includes support for programs and for research involving STEM, but also social sciences, humanities, and the performing arts. We have national scholarships and fellowships. So this is the team that helps students prepare for and apply to the Rhodes, the Marshall, the Fulbright, and many other scholarships and fellowships. We also have pre-health advising, probably best known for helping Emory students get into medical school, but they actually will help any career path that's in the ever-growing sector of healthcare. It can be public health, it can be genetic counseling, it could be 100 other things. And we also have experiential learning, which is my shop, and I'll return to that in just a moment. Our vision is to serve as a national model for higher education and to prepare students and connect them to things like local, national, and global internships. Last year, we posted over 3,000 internships in the Atlanta area alone, over 22,000 in the United States, and thousands more internationally. About 40% of our students go on to graduate and professional school. We help prepare them to do that. And others go on to postgraduate fellowships. And 97% of our graduates end up either in graduate and professional school or with full-time employment 6 months after graduation. We also serve as a single hub for recruiting talent and attracting top employers in every industry. So we not just help you prepare, we help make sure that we're developing relationships with employers all around the world to make sure that they know that they've got top Emory talent here that they should employ. I mentioned career and professional development, and let's revisit that for a moment. Career and professional development is organized around specialized career communities. These communities provide students with things like job market insights. And one of the things about something like job market insights is that we offer our students cutting edge, always refreshed information about the industries that they're interested in. So they don't have to rely on, well-intentioned people who maybe had an experience 10 years ago. We make sure that they're on the cutting edge of what's going on in different industries. We offer so many jobs, it can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming. So one of the things that we do is we spotlight positions that we think would be of interest to particular students. We also have specialized resources like networking nights for all of our career communities. Networking nights are when we bring together Emory students, Emory alumni, and industry VIPs for catered and very pleasant networking events, both here on campus and throughout the Atlanta area. Now we can advance. What you're seeing here are our 8 different career communities. And you may recall the slide that Kimber showed earlier where there were a list of majors and there were different career outcomes. One of the things that you might notice here about these communities is they don't exactly align with the 80+ majors here at Emory. And that's because skills are transferable in a liberal arts context. And if you want to pursue business, you can definitely do a terrific job of that at the Goizueta Business School, but you don't necessarily have to. You can stay in the college. You can pursue your passion in whatever major you want and explore those opportunities in business. And that's true across these different career communities. We oftentimes have students who have multiple interests, so they will be members of multiple career communities. And one of the things that's nice about these communities is you can set up specialized alerts so that you can be pinged when an employer is on campus offering an information session or doing hiring, so you can always stay on top of your job, your internship and job searches. Internship funding. We know that our Emory students have transformative internship experiences. We also know that sometimes these internships are unpaid or underpaid. By underpaid, we mean that sometimes the internship doesn't pay enough for the student to cover their cost of living expenses, so they have to go out of pocket. That creates a financial barrier, and this is why we've created our internship funding program. For domestic experiences, we can provide up to $3,000 in funding to cover cost of living expenses directly related to the experience. We can cover up to $4,000 with global experiences. This is available to all Emory undergraduate students. Last year, we were able to fund 274 students. They were as diverse a cohort as Emory is. They weren't just racially and socioeconomically diverse, they were academically diverse. They came from all 4 colleges. They had 47 different majors among them. About a third of them pursued opportunities here in the Atlanta area, which I think is a testament to the vibrancy of the local economy. But we also sent students to 6 different continents. And you can see the list of the countries where they pursued internship, research, and applied arts experiences on this slide. They did everything from mobile medical screening in Ghana, sustainable tourism in Nepal. They worked at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California, and hundreds of other experiences. So I think that's it. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm very happy, as I'm sure my colleagues are, to answer any questions that you might have.
And so as you all see, we have a couple of questions that I think we should kind of answer on the live front here. And I think the first 2 may be in Kimber or Rebecca's area. The first one is, can GERs be opted out through AP classes taken in high school. I know we've had a little bit of a change in policy there. So I definitely would love for you all to answer that one live.
Yeah, that's a big question. Yes, you can use some AP credit to fulfill GER. The ones that you can use AP credit for are the English AP exam and also the foreign language general education requirement. You can use 1 semester of AP to count for that.
That's awesome. And then the other one that maybe it might be more related to Kimber and Rebecca, when are the classes on the Emory Course Atlas going to change to the options that will be available next year? I'm very worried about this and how to organize myself in a way that I'll be able to make the most of my Emory education. I think the first part of the answer to this question is don't worry, right? That's the key piece here.
Right. There's no need for you to worry. You will have access to advisors, summer advising, and we will be more than happy to help guide you through that process. Right now, we are actually registering our current students for the fall. So our course atlas is really geared more towards those classes for fall as well as for summer. And so I'm wondering if this question is referring to some of our first year writing classes and our first year seminar classes. And all of those will be available to you with accurate class counts and numbers of students that are allowed to register for that class, caps and things like that in due time. And we will help you with that registration process and over the summer in July and August.
And just to reiterate, this is not a rush to the finish line. We really want you to explore, take a wide range of classes. That is the beauty of the liberal arts focus here at Emory. And there is just a wonderful group of individuals, some of whom are right here in this space that are going to help you make those really important decisions. Another question we have here is, if I want to change my major from biology to something else on the pre-med track or take a double major, how and when can I do that? Also, how do I know what is the best major for me as a pre-med student?
So I can start, and then Rebecca, you can add in maybe anything that I leave out, and then if any of you others would like to add in as well, because I think one of the things that we would like to emphasize is that as a pre-health student or someone who is going to medical school, there is not a particular major that you have to do. If you would like to do biology or another hard science major, you certainly can do that, but you do not have to do that. If you wanted to be a humanities or a fine arts major while also pursuing and completing those pre-medical school requirements, you certainly could do that. As far as timing with regard to a major, most students are declaring a major before the end of their second year. Some students are declaring during their first year, although we don't even allow you to declare your major until your second semester. So again, we really want you to use that first semester and even that first year to explore and really kind of figure out what kind of path you want to take. If you do declare a major, let's say during your second semester or during your first semester of your sophomore year, and then decide that you want to change that major, you certainly have the option to do that. The process is simple in terms of the technical, logistical piece of it, but I would recommend that if that is something that you plan to do, that you actually speak with your advisors. And in this case, if you're a pre-health student, you would probably speak to both pre-health advising as well as your OUE advisor, as well as the potential major that you would be looking at. What did I leave out, Rebecca?
No, I thought you did a great job. Really honing in on the point that there's a lot of flexibility as far as your major and the timeline to that. So as Maddie mentioned, there's no need to rush into any of this. There's lots of time for exploration.
If I could just chime in, because this is something that comes up a lot. And that is, what is the best major to get into medical school? And I would just like to gently underscore the point that Kimber made. I know it can, sometimes we don't have the ears to hear it, for various reasons, but there is no 1, 2, 3 majors that are preferred from the perspective of medical school. I mean, if anything, what we've been hearing from admissions is that one of the things that and by admissions, I mean medical school admissions, what they're looking for are students who are intellectually curious. They're fired up. They have discovered things that they're passionate about. So to apply to medical school, as Kimber alluded to, there are some pre-MCAT courses that you will have to take regardless of the major. So you'll be covered. But the major that you should select should be the one that engages you, that motivates you, that is very interesting to you. This is something for those of you who are on the pre-health track. I'm sure we'll continue to have these conversations, but tonight, if that's just one thing you can take away, it could be really valuable. You really can pursue your passion, major in what you want to major in, and go to medical school.
And I think we find too, Ed, that I don't think students realize that there are like 18 different areas of pre-health that you can study at Emory. It's not all just going to medical school.
That's absolutely right. I mean, one of the things that's I think a lot of students are amazed by is when they become introduced to healthcare as a field, its diversity, the different problems that are being tackled. It's a really eye-opening experience. So definitely, if you want to become a physician, you can definitely do that. But there are so many other healthcare related careers that are fulfilling and remunerative that aren't exactly being a medical doctor. But you can be a medical doctor too if you want to.
Yeah, exactly. We have two questions having to do with the dual degree program with Georgia Tech. What is the policy for dual degree program? And that is for a spring admit. And as we all know, there are some students joining us today who were admitted to begin in the spring at Oxford. How would that impact them? And then the second question here is, do I have to complete my Emory degree before moving to study at Georgia Tech? And so if anyone can address both of those questions, we do have a phenomenal website about the dual degree program with Georgia Tech that does answer a lot of these questions. But would anyone like to jump in here?
Yeah, I can do that. I'm sorry, my camera is a little bit delayed, but hopefully you guys can hear me clearly. But I actually am one of the advisors for the dual degree engineering program, so happy to answer those questions. As far as the spring and this timeline, it's going to depend on a variety of different factors. The major, all students, regardless of when they start and or when they plan to start, or just for the program, we need to complete the pre-engineering and for an entry degree. So for a student who's starting in the spring, I would say we'll be focusing on getting started on the math sequencing, and that again is going to be very personal depending on what level we're going to begin at. And so I would really encourage students who are interested in the program to connect with us once they certainly at Emory, and school students, for students that we go off for every semester, helping think about how to approach fulfilling those engineering requirements. And then as far as the other question, it is required that you manage all of your degree requirements before you move on to Georgia Tech. So as part of the program, you're actually going to be transferring to Georgia Tech. And so in order to transfer it, we do double check to make sure you complete all of the requirements on your engineering major.
Hey, Rebecca, I think we had some difficulty hearing your answer to that, but I am going to post in the Q&A the link to the program. And students understand with the dual degree program, it is a 5-year program, 3 years spent at Emory, 2 years at Georgia Tech. And at Emory, you would be taking all of your prerequisite courses, getting you ready to apply to and be admitted to Georgia Tech. And once admitted, you are a full Georgia Tech student. You can study one of 11 different areas of engineering at Georgia Tech. And at the end of your Georgia Tech studies, you are graduating with 2 undergraduate degrees, 2 bachelor's degrees, one from Emory, one from Georgia Tech. And the very unique piece of that is that not only do you have that liberal arts background and foundation, you also have an engineering foundation, which makes you very marketable, I would think, right, Ed, as they're leaving Emory. And I'll go ahead and post that in the answer as well. And then there's a question here about how do I know how many credits are accountable for a biology major or generally pre-med as an IB student?
I can talk a little bit about that. So we do accept IB credit with a high level value, and majors will, for example, if you're coming in with credit for like chemistry 150 or biology 141, credit from the AP or the IB can be utilized towards the major. But as Rebecca alluded to earlier, the credits for English and language are the only ones that can actually apply to a GER. So while you may be able to use specific credits that you earn from AP or IB towards a equivalent course, it will not count towards a GER requirement. But we will go into all of that during your summer advising as well.
Okay, let's see if there's anything else here. I think we've answered all the questions right now in the Q&A tab. Jolena, I wanted to ask one question of you, particularly when you're talking about academic support. Would you say the majority of students at some point in their academic trajectory will be utilizing your services for academic support?
Yes, yes, absolutely. In some capacity, whether it's through the tutoring, as I mentioned, the learning assistance program, that's like one of our largest programs. Of a large number of students participate in that program as well as the academic coaching program. So I think somewhere in between, students generally participate in at least one of those resources, if not more. We actually encourage students to kind of pair those resources as we can reinforce the support to the students when they do that.
Well, I know as a former Emory student from many, many moons ago, academic support was a part of my academic success at Emory. And I think students have to understand that it's okay to ask for help and to take advantage of all of the resources, right?
Absolutely.
That Emory offers from your first year through your senior year, because we have seniors who tell us they do, take advantage of those academic support services.
Absolutely.
I have another question here. Okay, we already answered that one. Okay, fantastic. Well, if there are no more questions, we are finishing up like within an hour. That's pretty incredible. First of all, to all of you colleagues, thank you so much for sharing a wealth of information about the academic advising program at Emory and the tremendous resources that students have here to explore, to customize their academic pathways, and take advantage of those resources to ensure academic success. I mean, some of the biggest takeaways today, students, is that you have options and choices, and that's the goal of the liberal arts. And more importantly, there is always someone at Emory who will be able to answer your question and help you find a resolution if an issue or a challenge comes up. If your questions were not answered today, you have others, please feel free to reach out directly to any of us, including myself. As a reminder, this session has been recorded and this will be posted to the Emory YouTube channel within the next 24 hours. We will all be stars very, very soon. And most importantly, please visit Emory's campus in person. We are offering really great opportunities to engage with current students, have lunch on campus, and you can schedule a visit online. We wish all of you the best of luck as you decide where you'll make your college home, and we all hope you choose Emory. And thanks again, everybody, for joining today, and wish you all the best. Stay safe and be well. We'll wait till folks kind of gradually leave our space, and Emory colleagues, hope you all have a great evening tonight, and thanks again for joining.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
You too, Maddie.
Bye-bye.
I know.